Hello and hello and everybody. No, hello and welcome to another episode of the morning after the Euros. Yo yo yo! What just happened last night? My God. Yeah.
Damn, like two groups
Wow.
completely blown wide open. It was
Yes. A group
intense
who could
stuff.
a group who couldn't score goals ended up scoring 10. And in the last four matches they could only score 7, and in two games they scored 10. And then the other game, the group of death, the fourth one, the fourth country who was not supposed to have a say is having the biggest say in this group. Talk
Yeah,
about football and talk about the party spoilers. Yeah, welcome along to the internet. And my name is Shub, and I have Anshuman with me again as we record episode number 12, trying to review and have some opinions and some comments on how can Germany make it difficult for themselves, or were Hungary really are Hungary really that hungry and that good? Have Spain also scored all their goals in one game, so they will not be able to score for the next one. That should be the end of the tournament. And yeah, yeah, let's get along. Let's address the first game. And we only have, I mean, not we, but Poland only have themselves to blame. They just made it difficult for them as soon as they played the first
oh
game.
God, yeah.
Yeah, so go for it.
Well, I don't know. I think Poland's biggest problem is they weren't really sure how to execute. Like they were a bit like Turkey and some of these teams, right? Who just were completely and or somebody like Scotland who set themselves up so poorly with their first game that they basically lost their best chance of getting through and qualifying. And yesterday also, well, what am I supposed to say? Like Sweden were the better team, and Sweden are a better team overall. Also, like Sweden are World Cup quarter finalists last time,
Yeah,
yeah, they were quarter finalists, right? They played
yeah,
England, and so um, the fact that Sweden scored is very. I'm quite delighted by that. Like they actually finally were able to put in a couple of goals,
yeah.
and that also tells you how defensively weak Poland can be. They just aren't good enough on both sides of the pitch, and Lewandowski couldn't carry them,
Yeah.
and that's it. Yeah, I think that's basically it. Like that's what I understood from what was going on.
Lewandowski is basically a PS5 to a 1960s television, and that's how you could possibly compare the Polish team.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, they just don't fit along together. But yeah, one more thing about Sweden, I don't know. Okay, now it just slipped out of my mind, but
Hmm.
yeah, okay. Let's move to the other game, wherein Spain just cannot seem to score a penalty. I don't know why does Koke not take the penalty. He's the most experienced win out there. He has this winning mentality, but no, give it to Gerard Moreno, who's not done anything at. Okay, that's an overstatement. Who doesn't have that winning mentality in him? I already mentioned before,
Who's
like,
not played at international level? Like simple as like
and
he's
then
not played at the highest. He's not been a Spain starter for a long time. Like
yeah,
he's just getting into it, and it's a young career at the highest level. So
hmm
it's a weird. Like honestly, I am not a fan of what Luis Enrique is doing with this side. Like I don't care if they won 5-0. Yeah, you beat up on Slovakia, who barely turned up and were literally gift wrapping you fucking goals. Like
hmm
I mean, the
talk
Spain
about the
team
first goal.
and
Talk about the first goal.
what is there to talk about? Like what was going on? It made no sense. Like what am I supposed to say? Like it
He
was
made an awesome
absolutely.
save before that for the penalty, so that should have given him ample amount of
Well,
confidence to
yeah,
like just.
Dubravka has been like that. I've been watching him in the Premier League for a while now, and like sometimes I don't know. Like it's a he has a howler in him. That's all I. But he's an excellent keeper overall. But I mean, what was that? Like I don't know.
I think the timing
it broke me. Like I realized it broke me.
the timing of him trying to punch the ball away, he just got that wrong, and then it just hit his wrist, and then the ball was only going one way, and it was
Yeah.
downwards into the net. So yeah.
Yeah, like I don't even want to talk too much about it to shit on him also. Like he's
Mhm.
good. Like he's proven himself. And just one mistake doesn't change his career trajectory or anything.
Yeah.
So
And
I
then
hope at least we can hope for that.
yeah. And then there's Alvaro Morata, who also missed the penalty this game. Can't seem
Miserable
to be
bastard.
scoring
My God.
goals. Can't seem to be scoring an open 12-yarder with just the keeper there. Wow. Just give it to Koke, man. Just give it to Koke. Let him take the penalties. Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Okay.
Well, anyways, like I
His
mentioned.
body language and all also I don't like. Like it pisses me off almost everything about him. Like there are some, like it's not like I hate him or anything. I barely hate anyone, especially as an athlete. But I mean, sometimes his body language is very. Tries to seem unruffled and unaffected, and he just comes off as moody and irritated. Like it's not positive, and
Mhm.
I mean, he looks lost all the time. Like
Yeah.
that's not a good sign for a footballer looking lost.
True. Yeah. True. You hit the nail on its head. But yeah, like I mentioned earlier, do you think they've
Hmm.
scored all their goals in one game? I mean,
Yeah, like they like one game doesn't change their thing, right? Like now we can't assume that Spain is going to beat the shit out of anyone. Like they'll score against anyone. The
Mhm.
Slovakia side made it quite easy to score against them. They barely turned up. Like they I don't know what, like they had a chance to qualify, and they I don't know what they were doing. Like I didn't understand at all. Like it makes no sense. And well, Spain got their opportunities and Spain put them away, because at the end of the day they're a talented bunch of players.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not buying. Like who do they play in the next round though? Did you
Yeah,
check that part? Because I didn't. So
they're playing Croatia.
oh,
Rematch of
that should
the
be an interesting
2016.
game.
Yeah.
Two teams which look utterly miserable at this tournament.
Mhm. Yeah.
Let's see how that goes.
Yes. I think also one of the teams is going to have like a free part to the quarterfinals. It is also
Hmm.
Denmark is playing Wales. So
Hmm.
I think
I
Denmark
actually
should.
like that matchup. Like it's a
Yeah.
matchup of two teams who will go toe to toe.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
And Portugal is playing Belgium. So that's the pick
Yeah.
of
Okay.
the.
Let's
Yeah. Okay.
we'll talk about that later. Now let's
Mhm.
discuss the big games first. Like the
Yeah. And then the group of death. Oh God. Wow. How is
yeah.
Hungary having such a
I'm
good.
happy that this group of death actually lived up to its name. Like
Yes, it did.
twists and turns and spoilers, and it's uh, it's and then heartbreak. Like it was fascinating. Like this group was riveting.
Yeah, it
And
was. Oh God. Yeah. Perfect word to use it to sum it up. Yeah.
yeah.
Describe your first game which you watched, France, Portugal.
Yeah, well, France were bad. They
You
were
think?
bad for quite a bit of this. At least the first half, they were terrible. Like the second half, they picked it up. It was a game of two halves, in my opinion. Like first half, it was Portugal on top, even though the penalty, it was contentious a bit, because Lloris technically got the ball first, but that's Hugo Lloris for you. He's another guy who does some
Yes.
random stuff, like complete
Yeah.
brain fart sometimes. Like we've
Yeah.
seen this before a lot,
In the
and
World Cup
he's
final.
always been terrible at coming out for crosses. Like I thought De Gea was bad at it. For
Yeah.
somebody who excels so much at other parts of their game,
Mm-hmm.
Hugo Lloris does not excel at any other parts of his game also as a keeper, and he's terrible with handling crosses.
Yeah.
He can be. He's a bit too skinny also. Am I wrong in thinking that?
Yeah. 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 For a goalkeeper, he's
Yeah,
also
and
not the tallest. No, I'm not sure about that.
he's not that tall. He looks tall because he's skinny also, right?
Mm.
And like that, what he was leading in, like the punch, like it made no sense to me. Like I mean, like Danilo had to commit. Like he looked like he was going through an exorcism on the floor. It looked ridiculous. But yeah,
Yeah.
he did get punched in the face. So I'm not going to take
Mhm.
the like I'm going not going to give him shit for
Yeah, it was
uh,
a penalty.
his
That's it.
reaction. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the Mbappe penalty? Did you watch that? Like, I mean, what? I still can't explain how it was given. Like, what?
I don't
I
know.
mean,
But before that,
what was Semedo supposed to like? He nudged him a bit, and Mbappe just went down. I
oh,
mean, yeah, the
that
concept of
was
superstar
ridiculous.
fouls exists. I know,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
I mean, what was that? Like, it made no. That was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. The refereeing this game was. It was a problem, and I generally like this referee. Like the 5 times I've seen him, and but this was I don't know. Like, I mean, can somebody explain to me why that was a penalty? Like, I'm genuinely confounded. Like, I don't know.
Okay. But there was this awesome through ball that Paul Pogba just delivered to Mbappe.
Oh, Pogba was so good
And
yesterday.
oh wow. Yes. Yeah,
I
he's
have
running the
never
show.
seen him like
He's
this in
running
a Manchester United shirt. Not once.
he's running the show. He's running the Euros after
Yeah.
Lukaku. I think this guy is the
Yeah.
player
Well,
of the
yeah.
tournament.
And the funny part is the two guys are great friends who both could not work together at Manchester United. It's such a, oh my God. I feel so bad for myself sometimes in that regard.
The irony, no? Yeah.
Oof.
But yeah.
And Bruno Fernandes, the guy who's actually the savior for this for the team, is basically got dropped. He didn't play.
Oh wow, yeah. I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, why is he not playing? But anyways, he wouldn't have gotten on to those two penalties as well.
Well, no, it made sense anyways. Like it made sense in the sense that well, Portugal went for a defensive setup. They are like these are two very pragmatic coaches, and they would not hesitate. Like Pogba is undroppable. I think Pogba is the only midfielder that, and obviously Kante goes without saying is undroppable.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like these two guys can easily take a defensive approach to the game. And another interesting thing that I saw was Renato Sanchez starting actually worked, and he was brilliant.
Yeah, he was.
And
wow.
Yeah, the scoreline will say Ronaldo scored 2 goals and Benzema scored 2 goals, but they were not even close to the best player on the pitch. Like, I mean, the Ronaldo 2 goals, that's a freebie. Like, yeah, 100 international goals, Euro top scorer, blah blah blah. Don't give me that crap. Like, fuck you. Like, he had nothing to do with both the goals, and he barely did anything. Like, I don't remember him doing anything standing up in this game. He was either jumping for a ball that he did not get, or he was sitting on the ground getting fouled. Like, I mean, fuck anyone who thought Ronaldo played well yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have anything against Ronaldo, but it's overhyped. Like, he's 35 years old, 36 years old. He's not as good as he was before. And anybody who's trying to still cling on to that fantasy, like, deserves a
thanking on this.
I don't know why it pissed me off, but it.
Yeah, but he still has to put those goals away, and I think that's where I can.
Good credit to scoring the penalty, I guess. But yeah, there are other players who could have done that as well. Like, it's not like there's a guy who has a better penalty record in the same team. Like, there are 2-3 of them. Like, Ronaldo's penalty record isn't spotless. It's not as bad as Messi's, but yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem with Ronaldo's performance per se. I have a problem with that 2 goals indicating that Ronaldo had an excellent game, which is absolutely not true. The aggregation of statistics, right?
Yeah,
that's my problem.
Okay. And then finally
let's come on to the game that you went to the beer garden to watch. Let's go.
What was that?
What was that? Like, yeah, explain to me.
What was that? I don't have words. That was a roller coaster that I've been looking for. Like, I knew they're bad, but also if they lose to England, I'm going to lose it. Like, I am going to lose it. I know this German team is bad, but to lose to this England side in the pre-quarters.
Oh yeah, no, that is fine. But like, if you're not able to set up well against Hungary, against England, who will be much better defensively and who have a fridge and slab and Maguire who will clear anything that you put in as a cross. Like, isn't it the same thing that happened in the first game? Just keep putting crosses in and hoping for a miracle. Like, it worked against Portugal because you were able to overlap it. But I mean,
no, but this game was like, it was nothing in terms of it wasn't a photocopy of the first and the second game. Firstly, with the lineup, Muller did not start and Sané also started. So completely different. I didn't know if Gozens even got the ball for this game, considering like he ran the show in the last game.
Yeah.
Nothing happened there. And then like Hungary out of nowhere, it was an awesome cross, like from the top. And these are the types of crosses you just need to get your head on. Yeah, Neuer was like awesome to like at least get a touch on that ball, but he couldn't do anything for that one.
Yeah.
Then struggle. And then you finally make it. You finally score this goal, only to like, oh my God. concede in the next very minute, and that also on a restart. Like it did not even take 50 seconds. Like how do you mess that up? And this was also like an awesome cross. Like he
Yeah,
just needed to
yeah.
get sorry, not a cross. He just needed to like lob the ball, and then for the striker to just like put it away because Neuer was anyways coming out.
Hmm.
I mean, oh god! And then it was like,
Well, the defense does not look good. Like it does not look promising.
well, it is not
Like
good
you'll be lucky
anyways.
that Sancho won't start because there is no possibility. There is no realm of possibility in which Sancho starts that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, handling that England front line, like if Gareth Southgate goes defensive, now that's the best case scenario for Germany in my opinion.
Mhm.
Like because this backline looks porous. Like I don't know if you agree, but it looks porous. Like it
It
can
is.
be
It is.
beaten.
It is.
Like
Yeah.
Matt
Yeah. For
Hummels
sure.
is not the same at all, and who's the other centre back? Like
Ginter
Ginter is
and
okay, but he's
Ginter.
at best he's a role player kind of guy. Like he should not be your starter, like
Mm.
first choice starter in this team.
Rudiger is the only one who seems to have his
Yeah.
footing right, but yeah,
Hmm.
he can't cover for the other two. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think I really need to give credit to this Hungarian team. They really made a
Hmm.
meal of this entire group. They were like walkovers, like 0 points, 3 games, but they got like
Yeah.
two
Yeah. Yeah.
points out of it. Like,
Not
wow.
even just that. Like they could have gotten a
Even
result of
three.
all three games.
Yeah.
Portugal was so
Yeah.
lucky with that.
Yes. Yeah.
Like Portugal and France have both been very disappointing from that perspective. And like Germany,
True.
we knew they were going to be kind of terrible, but like the other two, like the two top teams, they do not
Mhm.
look like the two top teams. Like Italy and Belgium, like Belgium, Portugal. Now I think we can come on to the actual biggest big blockbuster fixture that we have.
Yeah. Yeah.
I finally want to see Lukaku shut the world up about Ronaldo being one of the best strikers in the world.
Mm.
Watch one of the best strikers in the world actually do their job, and watch Ronaldo flail like a fish out of water on the other end.
Well, him not getting the ball at all. So yeah, I
Yeah,
don't. I think this Belgium team should like really teach them a lesson.
yeah.
There's
Because
no.
if Belgium win, then they're automatic favorites in my eyes. Like
Mhm.
they're automatically favorites,
Yeah.
especially if they do well to beat Portugal. Like if it's a close game, I'm expecting it to be a close game because I think Portugal will try and close it down, be pragmatic, be defensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, not exactly what they did against France, but I think a similar kind of approach. And let's see how Belgium are able to handle it because I think Belgium should be happy with the fact that they're playing Portugal in the sense that the front line is not the fastest. Bernardo Silva not really fast.
Yeah. Mhm.
Cristiano Ronaldo does not have the pace of yesteryears,
Yeah.
and
True.
Jota gets into the channels, but the problem with Jota is that he does not seem to link up with the other guys at all. Like
Yeah.
he gets into those positions, but the other guys are not at the same wavelength ever, by the looks of it.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know whose fault it is. Is it whose side
It's a
is the execution failing on?
it's a
But
mismatch anyways. Like when you have so many superstars, like I think that's why
yeah,
Germany did
yeah,
so
yeah. The
well
balance of the side is not there.
in the previous years because they didn't have the stars. They just needed to like fit into their
Hmm.
positions and yeah, stick to their roles and like get the result. Uh yeah, I think we will end up with these reviews and then we will preview the pre-quarters for tomorrow.
Okay, we are
Yeah,
tomorrow or day after because Saturday, like tomorrow, we don't have a game today and we don't have a game tomorrow.
yeah. So we preview it tomorrow and then we will for the Saturday games. We just
Okay,
preview the entire. Yeah. Do you have anything to add before we are taking cut to this?
not really. Like,
It was
I
a yeah.
mean,
In the end, like I think looking at the group stages, there was just one boring match day. Like we are like in day
hmm,
13 now. And out of
yeah,
13 days, there was just one boring day of football. And I think that was
yeah,
group A, B, C, D, the England group when they drew with Scotland and the Croatia
yeah. And I think
Czech game.
even I think the Spain group had one game on that day also, and that was terrible as well. I think.
Yeah, only 3 goals in that.
Okay, yeah. I thought we can discuss something. I mean, the lack of jeopardy, like the third place thing, the group stages kind of it meant very little in my opinion. Like I don't
Mhm.
know, like compared to normal, like I remember the World Cup, I was excited every day. It was the best footballing experience I've ever had. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I think this Euros has had the biggest problem, in my opinion, that this tournament has had is that we've been watching for 1.5 years football non fucking stop. Like,
Yeah.
especially the way the games were presented on Sky. Like, I mean, the times that they were spread apart at. Like, you basically they were trying
You're
to
watching all
incentivize.
day.
Yeah, you're supposed to be watching all day, and especially when we do podcasts and we're supposed to cover this, right? So,
Mm.
like, I personally feel a certain sense of responsibility also, that I'm supposed to watch as much as possible, and so that I'm able to talk about it.
Yeah.
But dude, like, it's and after a certain point, it's been too much football, and like, for me, I don't know about how other people enjoy football. Football is one of the things that I love. It's not the only thing that I love.
Yeah.
Like, I love talking about basketball like crazy. I love playing video games. I love watching TV shows and stuff like that. Like, for like, quite a lot of people that I know, they have one hobby and they're overly obsessed with it, and they'll watch it all the fucking time. But I am not one of those people. I do not have the capacity to watch it all the time, because I want to enjoy it. Like, there is no point. Like, it shouldn't be laborious, right? And
Yeah.
the way this past year and a half has been set up, it has been so boring and so irritating and so long. Like, the length of it, especially, we barely got a gap between the end of the season and the Euros, right?
Mm.
And now I'm like, again, I picked myself up again to watch the Euros, and now that I'm glad that the group stage is over, because I started feeling myself fade. I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, do I really care? Do I really want to watch? And now that it's knockouts, like, knockouts, you can't help yourself, right? Knockouts, you'll be like, yeah, there is instant jeopardy here. Like, there is a risk. Like, there is a like, it's do or die, and do or die is where football thrives. And that's the biggest problem with a lot of these, and that comes into my larger point, that these guys like UEFA and FIFA and all these what do you call it, football authorities and bodies, they don't get it. They don't get it. Like, even not just in football, in other sports,
It's not
like,
about the players anymore. It's not about the players anymore. It's always about the revenue. And you see after,
exactly, yeah.
as soon as the Euros gets over in 1 month, we are back to season club
Yeah,
football.
like, we need that month, don't we? Like, I want a month in which I just watch 4 United friendlies, and that's the only football I watch. I want that month. I'm desperately waiting for that month. I might sound it might sound rude. It might sound like, oh God, this guy loves football, but he doesn't really want to watch it. What a I don't know what word you would use. Like, if you have that word in the comment section, please tell me. But at football, I love football, and there is no doubt about it. I play football all the time, and I would much rather be out playing football than sitting in front of a TV and watching it. And like, if I'm watching 10 times more football than I'm playing, I feel that there is some sort of problem there. Like, I mean, yeah, another thing that I wanted to bring this into, like, the revenue thing that you said, right?
Yeah.
I mean, these guys don't care about the players, obviously. The players are exhausted. Like, the Slovakia thing and some of these freak results happen because these players are just too tired, and they've had too long a season. Like, I mean, why is Bruno Fernandes not able to perform at the Euros? The answer that I came up with mostly is,
He's
the
running the
man has been
show.
playing football non-stop.
So, yeah.
Like, part of it is on him because he doesn't want to take a break, but he's being forced into a position where he has to choose between sitting and watching his colleagues play, his teammates play, and him not being able to impact that. Or the other option is just play at half speed, because you have been put through the grinder over and over and over again. I
The last
mean,
18
and
months.
then
Yeah.
like, I'm talking from a fan perspective also. They don't care about the fans. They just want to maximize their revenue.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they don't care if how much capacity people have to watch it. Like, I can't imagine the job, like, being a football journalist or something like that. When you have to watch it, it's your job. And then you have, like, a slate of games, like, from 12 in the afternoon to fucking 10 o'clock at night. 8 hours, 10 hours, you're supposed to sit there and just watch this thing go on. And then games like, I'm not talking about the Euros now, games like Burnley versus Crystal Palace, you're supposed to sit and watch and have an opinion on, write about it, or talk about it in a pod. I mean, this is nonsense.
Ridiculous.
Like, I want the fans back. I want the 3 o'clock start time concept to come back so that I can pick and choose and watch like reasonable amounts of football, and then I can cover it through listening to podcasts, listening to watching videos, doing other stuff. Like I don't want to fucking just sit there and watch football the whole day. Like it's that's just not the kind of fan and person who covers this as I am. Like it sound like a person who doesn't like a person who covers football but doesn't really like it.
Well, that I think that was the end of the rant, and he's made his point where the players are not getting enough time to rest, recover. Governing bodies just want to make money. The fans are not cared about. They were never
Don't get
cared
the
about.
concept. Like they don't get
Even though it's
scarcity
people,
works. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just to cut you, like the scarcity works. Like look at the NFL. The number of ratings and the number of people that are watching just because it's 16 games and every game means something. Like that boosts your revenue. It makes you a bigger market. It makes you a bigger franchise. And but football and basketball, both of these guys, they just don't get it. Like they just want to maximize it by, like, it's a brute force way of looking at it. But when you reduce the supply, then the demand for individual product increases. Like every game means a lot more.
Yeah.
Like that's basically my point. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, like we've always learned about like going for quality over quantity, but yeah, I mean basketball
Exactly.
is even more like worse than them playing like 82 games in a regular season, and then even the knockouts and the playoffs. So yeah, well, I think that's modern football. I think the teams will have to multiply their squads like to 1.5 fold to actually like survive a season. But yeah, let's see how that gets along. We will
Will
talk
we
about
have
it.
this again? Do you think like this kind of these kinds of seasons? Like
Well, you tell me if there's a pandemic around the corner, a new one, then we can talk about it.
yeah. Oh God. Can't
Yeah.
even want to imagine.
Well,
Barely gotten out of this one.
on that sad note, or on that pessimistic note, we are going to say goodbye. And yeah, see you tomorrow, where we are going to preview all the 8 games for the pre-quarterfinals. And have a nice one. We're going to see you.
Cheers.